So guys, someone mentioned to me about Terence Crawford and saying Terence Crawford's a great talent, but he just doesn't get those big fights. Now, the problem is with Terence Crawford is that Terence Crawford is a great fighter, a technician, a very talented man. But he signed a deal with Top Rank. Now, I've said this before, that there's nothing wrong with signing with Top Rank. Because Top Rank, right, do a job making a guy a star. But once a guy's a star, right, they leave Top Rank. And someone said to me, well, Top Rank have done what they've done with Terence Crawford. Now, the problem is with Terence Crawford, here's the problem. Terence Crawford isn't a star. So Top Rank are finding it difficult to make him a star. And here's why. Because Top Rank don't have any top welterweight fighters. Now, the guys down that he was fighting at light welterweight, for example, Ndongo and all of those guys, Posto, they weren't big names. So Terence Crawford wasn't going to become a star by fighting those guys. Terence Crawford's biggest name that he's faced is Amir Khan. And many people don't see Amir Khan as being relevant in the sport as he used to be. So many people think that Amir Khan is washed up. Now, Terence Crawford, the only way he raises his profile, raises his name, if he starts fighting credible opponents that are all with PBC. And we know that Al Heyman and Bob Arum don't get on. So Terence Crawford is stuck right now because he's very difficult for Terence Crawford to get those fights. He's not going to get those fights. So what does Terence Crawford do? Where does Terence Crawford go? How does Terence Crawford get those big fights? He's going to struggle. He's going to struggle. And I feel for him because, like I said, he's a very talented fighter and he deserves to be in those big mega fights. You know, but he's probably not going to be in those big mega fights. He's not going to get the fight with Spence, which he's craving for. See, the thing is, Crawford is more desperate for that Spence fight than Spence is. Because Spence knows he can fight other guys, right? Mega fights. And become a unified, become a triple belt holder. And then fight Crawford. And then the problem is, Crawford, it's not going to be a 50-50 fight. Because Spence is going to say, I got 3 belts. I'm a bigger name. I'm a bigger draw. I hold all the cards. I'm not giving you 50-50. He's already mentioned that in interviews before. So Crawford's stuck. Crawford being with Top Rank is kind of stopping him and stopping his appeal. Because really, Crawford needs to be with PBC Al Heyman. And people may say, oh, well, Bob Arum's done a good... Yeah, Bob Arum has done a good job up until this point. But now Crawford's come to a point where Crawford being with Bob Arum can no longer do him a job. Bob Arum's talking about fighting the best guys in Europe and this, that. Listen, the best welterweights are with PBC and Al Heyman. We don't know all those guys in Europe, right? Bob Arum's taking those names. Oh, this guy can fight. He's 25-0. He's undefeated. And like, nobody wants to see those fights with Crawford. People want to see Crawford fight Danny Garcia. Want to see Crawford fight Sean Porter. Want to see Crawford fight Spence. We know those guys. We know how good those guys are. Irrespective of what Bob Arum says, and Bob Arum saying that they're not that good and they're not. He's only saying that because he knows that those fights can't be made and those are credible fights for Crawford. You know, and the fans would definitely love to see those fights. Those guys in Europe, if you're... Okay, if Bob Arum is saying Danny Garcia and Porter aren't elite, then what does it make those guys who people rank way below those Porter and Garcia? That's the guys that he's talking about making fights with. And they're ranked way below those guys. So if they're not elite, what does it make the guys that he's talking about? So this is what I mean. I just think Crawford's in a very difficult place. And I feel for him. I hope he gets those big fights. He deserves it. He's a talented fighter. He's done everything right in his career so far. But it just seems to me like Crawford's going to... These next couple of years for Crawford might be very frustrating. And it doesn't seem like he's going to be getting out of his Top Rank contract anytime soon. Because I do think it's a long-term deal. And I just think he's going to stay frustrated until... I don't see him signing an extension. I think he's going to just wait it out. But that's my take on the situation. I just think it's unfortunate for Terence Crawford. Such a talent, but just don't get those big fights. Leave your thoughts, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.